Today I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks that are going to help you make better looking icons for your maps. Last month I was working on some Ukraine map animations and I had to use this technique to show both President Zelensky and Putin. And these techniques are nothing groundbreaking, it's pretty simple stuff actually, but it does really add a lot. Today's video is sponsored by Envato Elements. I'm donating the sponsorship fee to this charity called Save the Children. You can find them at the link in the video description, savethechildren.net. Of all the refugees that have fled Ukraine, half are children. Go check it out and donate. With a subscription to Envato Elements, you get access to over 56 million assets, including basically whatever you might need when creating a map. For real, they have so much. They have icons, backgrounds, texture packs, isometric map elements, all kinds of After Effects template projects, sound effects, music, stock video, stock imagery. They offer a nice and clean, simple lifetime commercial license, which is good even after your subscription ends. Following the link in the video description is going to give you 50% off when you select an annual subscription, which will give you access to everything on the site for under $20 a month. Big shout out to my tier 3 patrons. You have Simon over at The Track Record on YouTube, Joseph Culligan, Samir Mahdi, Tyson, the Keymaster, and Mike and Sandra over on YouTube at Flumi+1. Thank you so much, folks, for making this video possible. Okay, so for the first step, I need to get a picture of Zelensky. So I'm over here on his Wikipedia page. On the right, I can see his official portrait. And if you look down here, it's actually under a Creative Commons license. You can download the original file over here. Then I'm going to open it up in Adobe Photoshop, and with the marquee tool selected or any of these selection tools, you can go click on select and mask, and then I can say select subject, and it should do a pretty good job here. Remember when this used to take hours of work just to get this? You can see over by his hair there's a little bit of gunk here, so maybe if I turn on Smart Radius and crank this up a bit, maybe it'll fix it a little bit. Okay, now I have this nice selection. I'm going to hold Control and hit J. That's going to duplicate just the selection. And then I'm going to turn off the background. And now I'm going to go to File, Export, Quick Export as PNG. And it's important to do PNG because this keeps the transparency with the image. Okay, now I'm going to go over to Adobe After Effects. I'm going to bring this PNG in, and I'm going to create a new comp. Let's do 4K. And I'll bring the image into my comp. You can see it's real nice, high resolution. So I'm going to scale this down a bit. Now, I just want to have a nice ellipse with a stroke, and I want him to be masked with that ellipse, but his head to be popping out over the top a little bit. So for that, I'm going to go grab the ellipse tool, and I'm going to click on the word fill. Make sure it's set to solid color, and I want to have a little bit of transparency. So I'm going to bring the opacity to like 25, and I'm going to set that color to not pure black, but close. Let's do like 10% brightness. Make sure your stroke is set to solid color, and 100 opacity is fine. And I'm just going to switch this to like a 90% white here. And then for the width, let's do something like 35 pixels. And now I'm going to click, hold shift to draw out this ellipse, try to center it up here. I'm going to open up the transformation properties and zero out that position. The April, like the new version of After Effects that's coming out next month, I think, has I think it has where you can hold shift and double click on the shape layer, and it'll automatically create an ellipse centered in the comp and also perfectly symmetrical. It won't fill the comp, so it's really cool. I hope that's actually in the program. All right, so I've got this ellipse. I'm going to actually toggle on transparency here so we can see that our fill is indeed there. Let's go ahead and rename this shape layer. I'm going to call it background ellipse. I want the stroke to be over top of him, and I want him to be naturally in front of the fill, and then his head is going to be on top of the stroke. So I'm going to drag this behind him, and then I'm going to duplicate it. Now, if I were animating this background, I would want to possibly use a feature called Copy with Property Links. And what that does is if I've already added a bunch of keyframes, it's going to create that duplicate, and then automatically it will follow the animation because it has all the property links, like expressions connected. That's always a good option if you have some pretty intense animations going on. Now I'm going to rename this layer matte. And I'm going to drag this on top. I'm going to be using this as the matte. And I want to use this as a Luma matte. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click this again, and we want to set this to pure black and pure white, but I'm going to actually invert them so that the fill will be white, and I'm going to make it all the way white. And actually click on fill and bring the opacity up. It's important that the opacity is at full. And then stroke, that's just going to be pure black. And now I'm going to go to the track matte column. If you can't see it, go ahead and toggle the switch. And then I will set this to Luma Matte, and now we should have our Luma Matte. It's looking good so far, except for the top here. We need to fix that. So for that, I just go to the matte, open up contents, and then under ellipse path, I have size and position. I want to actually change this to a Bezier path. I'm going to right click it, go to convert to Bezier path. And again, if you use the copy with property links, you're going to have to deactivate those property links to make changes. Just be aware of that. So now I can actually grab the path here and I can hold shift, click on this, and now I can bring this up and check out what happens. Voila. Now we have, actually you see we have a problem here, and it's that this part is starting to be revealed over the stroke. So what I want to do here is I'm going to undo this, and I'm just going to add a couple of vertices here. So I'm going to add one right here and then one right here. And there we go. Now we've got that matte nice and in place. Our picture needs to be adjusted. He's way too big. So let's scale this down and move it around here maybe. In fact, I'll bring it down a lot further. Maybe I don't want to see his hands too much. All right, cool. Now I'm going to go up here and I'm going to grab rounded rectangle tool. I'm going to hold shift and double click this, and it's going to create this new rectangle, which I'm going to change the fill to 10% darkness. I'm going to turn the stroke off. And now with this shape element rectangle selected, I'm going to scale it down vertically, and then I'm going to scale it down horizontally as well. I'm going to kind of get it like something like this. And now I can grab the entire shape layer, bring it down somewhere like here. Simply double click on the layer to grab the actual shape element. This will be the background of our text. And now I'm going to hold Control, hit T for text. And I'm going to type right in here. I'm using Century Gothic Pro. And I'm going to go ahead and type in Ukraine. And I'm going to select it and kind of grab in the middle and then hold Control, and you should be able to snap it so that it, snaps and perfectly aligns with your background here. And actually, I want this to match the stroke element, so I'm going to set the brightness to 90. And now once again, I'm going to move it so that it snaps to our shape, and then I can fine tune this. Okay, so there you have it. You can see it's quite simple and elegant. You could throw a bunch of animations to the ellipses, to that text in the background text. If I'm using this in GeoLayers, I can throw it in as a label template. Just be aware that where your anchor point is going to be where the center of that label is when you place it on your map. So if you want to place it at the bottom so that if you pivot it in 3D space, just be aware of that. I forgot to mention one other step, which is you can go to the image here, and if you go and grab a tint effect, that will make it black and white, and then you can, map the black to a specific color and give it like a duotone look, which I think is what I actually did in the video. Yeah, I gave Zelensky like a blue color and Putin had like a red color.